Hey everybody, it's Sydney Walker with Coffee and Politics Online. Lots of activity this week. So I want to talk about what's been written up in all of the newspapers, been reported on the news, the complete betrayal of the taxpayers. And let me tell you how long this betrayal has been in play with City Hall. This is not a thing of this just happened in November of last year. For 30 pieces of silver, the taxpayers and the residents have been sold out, have been betrayed. Okay? So we're going to just follow me here on this. So we're following all of this activity around City Hall. So do understand, there will be no reimagination for City Hall. This is a fight to stay in place or to tear it down and sell it. There will be no buyer with the City Hall staying in place. The city, the taxpayers, will be on the hook with their property taxes to demolish a paid-for asset. It was paid for a long time ago. It was completed in 1978. This is a paid-for asset, city asset, okay? 15, 20 acres. Including the park, front and back, plaza, park, building, parking behind it, and the green space behind it. Okay? So, I'm not quite sure if any of you guys have heard of ultra premium entertainment districts, because this is the driving force on why City Hall is on the table to be consumed and torn down. Mark Cuban, I emailed him to ask him about the AAC and the housing that was put around there. And I was told, this is just hearsay, that the McDavid family and the Perot family had beef with Cuban and put up all this housing and landlocked the AAC. This was supposed to be an entertainment district, and it was sold to everybody that it was going to spur so much economic development. It would spill over into the West End. It will cross over Woodall Rogers. That never happened. Hence why the Perot Museum ended up opening and being taken from the Fair Park and moved there, because that was part of this entertainment district that we wanted to have, where you would live, work, and play. Remember those three key things, because that is part of the ultra premium entertainment district. This is the trend. Mayor Johnson talked about the trend that Dallas needs to get on is not with having a city hall the way we have it today. No major city has gotten rid of their city hall, except for Detroit. I brought that up on Monday. Okay? What the trend is having these ultra premium entertainment districts, okay, where sport venues have activity year round versus 40 to 50 days of entertainment activity like the traditional sport venues, which is why Cuban sold his portion and discussed why the trend that sports was going into real estate, and it wasn't about the teams, because it's not. They're just a piece of the entertainment premium experience that Henry's are participating and purchasing into, okay? So what makes this ultra premium entertainment district? So you're going to have luxury residential suites. Luxury. That means rents well over $2,000 a month. The Cedars has penthouses for over $1 million on Urbay. There's a new development there. Over $1 million for a penthouse on Urbay. That's luxury living. Okay. Gourmet dining, office spaces with entertainment. So what developers and sports teams have decided to do is join forces to make these centers that cater to high-income earners. These are individuals that typically make over $150,000, give or take in your locale. But theoretically, it's people who are making $250,000, $500,000 plus per year. So if your household earns over $250K into that $500,000 K mark, you are considered a high income earner. Okay, and they're called HEMREs for short because you're a high income earner, not rich yet. You are considered the working rich. We have coined a new term. You're not working poor, and there's working rich as well. Which means you don't have assets that make you rich. You work for somebody and earn enough salary to be considered rich, as long as you keep earning that salary. So with these developers and sports teams, they have a tier of pricing that's geared toward high-end ticket experiences, clubs, suites, private hospitality, that you get to be part of this exclusivity. So when I emailed Cuban, he said he was just about basketball. When he took over the Mavericks, it was about the fans and the fan culture and the team all felt like one. Okay, that's gone. It is about having these luxury suites and luxury boxes and luxury premium seating areas that excludes you, keeps you away from any of the lower level season ticket holders, if they, can't afford these, or, people who just happen to buy a ticket to go to a particular game because of who their sports team is playing against. Okay. So these working rich, again, they have these salaries, and they have little to no assets that make them rich. Okay. And typically these are 30 to 40-year-olds. So you're talking about your millennials here. I would even say some Gen Xers can fall into that category. So where can we see this? Because this is something that that's trying to be developed here in Dallas. Okay. So the Battery in Atlanta has 24-hour, 7 days a week, high-end, walkable environment. So this is a bubble that has housing, office space, and your entertainment, your food, personal training, gyms, spas, all of those things, okay? And you'll import your workers, and then they export and go back to wherever they can afford to live, because they're not going to be making premium salaries in order to be able to live in these ultra premium entertainment districts. So the stadium is the platform for this. It's not just a venue that caters to that sports activity. So there's programming 24 hours, 7 days a week. Kind of sounds like Wall-E, and being on that ship, and food being shoved to you, and flashing lights, and consume. because you're working rich. You have no assets. You're looking for experiences that make you feel like you're part of a club. So, again, Trust Park has 11-story office space. This is in the Battery in Atlanta. And they have 2 hotels there. But one hotel they have that we have in common in Dallas, they have an Omni. And when did the Omni get built? Back in 2009. Voters voted yes to have a city-owned hotel in conjunction with the convention center, because this was a way to help support property taxes in Dallas and create jobs and bring much needed economic activity and development, which can cascade down into the Cedars and into South Dallas. We've heard this song and dance before. So the Kay Bailey Hutchins renovation, again, June 2025, City Council approved a $1 billion short-term loan from Chase. And then we're getting another $2 to $3 billion from the hotel tax, the hot tax, to help pay for this convention center renovation. Y'all voted to increase that back in 2022. I knew in my spirit, City of Dallas getting into the business of owning a hotel was not the move. Okay, so you have this hotel. It's tied to the convention center. Oh, we can have all of these conventions, and oh, people can stay in this hotel that's right there, and we can have this bubble where, you know, all this money is being transacted in downtown, and we are benefiting from it as property owners. Well, guess what, residential property owner, your taxes are still going up, and they still go up, and your values continue to go up because the state, Austin, will shoot down the City of Dallas trying to put any referendum on the ballot to raise your property taxes. So what they will do, they will raise your property evaluations, and DCAB will report your property value going up, 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 which means more property revenue for the city. That's how they get you. That's the workaround on that. Okay. So back in 2009, we get this Omni. We get the Kay Bailey Hutchins Center renovation. And let me tell you, so construction began in 2024, and Kay Bailey is expected to be completed in 2029. When does the Mavericks and the Stars lease end at the AAC? 2031. So if you want to have a new arena, you better start working on it now in 2025, because it's going to take 2 to 3 years to demolish City Hall, move everybody out, find a place to lease, to put city services, and pay rent, and pay $60 million to demolish City Hall. And I'm basing that number off of a gentleman that presented this information during the City Council meeting yesterday. Sorry, kind of had a brain fart. And I brought up questions around, if we have this other entertainment district so close to another one, to the AAC, how is that going to impact each other? Programming, money-wise, revenue-wise, because the city owns the AAC. The Mavericks and the Stars lease it. Yeah. So their lease is coming up in 2031. Kay Bailey is done in 2029. So we need to hurry up and get City Hall torn down so they can start erecting their casino stadium. And the library comes in, because that's where you'll have your high-rise luxury apartments and penthouses, because there's a company that has already started sending out PR material where they're going to have 2 antenna towers commemorating the 214 area code. Wolofsky posted that on his Facebook page. So, yeah. all the way back in the early 2000s. And us little people, us commoners, are just now getting it. Welcome to Dallas, baby. So I'm going to do several series on this just to let you know, because I don't want to have an hour-long discussion with just me on here, because this is a lot of information to consume, and I want you all to make sure that you are following it and you're listening to this, because you are just a tool to line someone's pockets. Okay? Remember that.